In the heart of a mystical realm, there existed a magnificent palace, renowned for its breathtaking architecture and wondrous marvels. The palace was the brainchild of a wise and just king, who had spared no expense in creating a testament to his wealth and power. Among the many wonders that adorned the palace was a hall of mirrors, a marvel of engineering and design that would test the perceptions of even the wisest of sages. The Hall of Mirrors was a vast, labyrinthine chamber, where every surface, walls, ceiling, doors, and even the floor, was covered in mirrors of unparalleled clarity. The reflections that stared back from these mirrors were so accurate, so lifelike, that even the most discerning eye would struggle to distinguish reality from illusion. But the hall held another secret, one that would amplify the sense of disorientation and wonder. The walls of the hall were designed to create an echo, a phenomenon that would repeat every sound, every whisper, every cry, back to the source, creating an aural maze that would confound and bewilder. One fateful day, a curious dog, drawn by the tantalizing aromas of the palace, stumbled upon the Hall of Mirrors. As the dog entered the hall, it was immediately surrounded by a pack of reflections, each one a perfect replica of itself. The dog, sensing danger, bared its teeth, and the reflections responded in kind. The dog, now thoroughly terrified, let out a desperate howl, which was promptly echoed back by the walls of the hall. The dog, convinced that it was under attack by a horde of vicious predators, ran back and forth, snapping its jaws and biting at the air. The reflections, of course, mimicked its every move, creating a dizzying spectacle of chaos and confusion. As the dog's frenzy reached its peak, the servants of the palace, alerted by the commotion, rushed to the hall to investigate. What they found was a scene of utter devastation. The dog, exhausted and traumatized, lay lifeless on the floor, surrounded by an infinity of reflections, each one a haunting reminder of its own mortality. The servants were baffled, unable to comprehend the cause of the dog's demise. There was no visible wound, no sign of foul play. It was as if the dog had been consumed by its own fears, its own reflections. As the news of the dog's strange death spread throughout the land, a wise sage, renowned for his insight and wisdom, was summoned to the palace to offer his interpretation of the events. The sage listened attentively to the tale, his eyes twinkling with a deep understanding. When the story was finished, he nodded, thoughtfully, and began to speak. The dog's death was not caused by any external force, the sage declared. It was not the reflections that killed the dog, but its own perceptions. The dog saw its own fears, its own doubts, staring back at it from the mirrors. It was consumed by its own ego, its own sense of self. The world is a great mirror, reflecting back to us our own thoughts, our own emotions, our own desires. We are the creators of our own reality, and it is up to us to choose how we perceive the world. The sage's words were met with a profound silence, as the assembled crowd struggled to comprehend the depth of his wisdom. The king, however, nodded in understanding, recognizing the truth that lay at the heart of the sage's words. From that day forward, the king ruled his kingdom with a newfound sense of awareness, recognizing that the world was indeed a great mirror, reflecting back to him his own thoughts, his own emotions, and his own desires.